Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden, whatever you want to call me. And I'm back. I am back with part 6 of What If Deku Had a Foresight Quirk. I call it part 6, but this is more like the finale. So, yeah, this is the finale of What If Deku Had a Foresight Quirk. And if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, make sure to leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And, yeah, that's about it. That's all I really got to say. I hope y'all enjoy the finale of this video or this series, and that's about it. Let's get right into the what if. Let's get it. Izuku and Bakugo arrive at Sir Night-Eye's agency, an agency that they are really excited to work for. Frankly, this agency is one of the best, if not the best, in the entirety of Japan, so working with Sir Night-Eye and learning under him would definitely have its benefits. But they'll definitely be doing very different things, you could say. Izuku would be helping more with Sir Night-Eye, more with finding the Shihazaikai because of just his crazy intelligence, his own foresight ability, and so on and so forth. But Bakugo will do more field work, and he's actually quickly tested by Sir Night-Eye to see if he's really worthy. And eventually he would prove that he's somewhat worthy. But still, it's something that Sir Night-Eye knew that Bakugo would be ready for, because Bakugo actually was pretty good bits ahead of Izuku compared to canon at this point. Obviously, Bakugo would be pretty well off, or basically in a good spot in terms of just how strong he currently is, and he would be able to keep up with Sir Night-Eye pretty well. All that is said and done, well, Izuku begins to work with Sir Night-Eye, and they get the rundown of basically what's going on with the Shihazaikai. Izuku helps with the research and trying to find them, as Mirio Togata, other known as Lemillion, and Katsuki Bakugo begin to go on patrols. These patrols would allow them to search certain areas of Japan to see if they can even catch a glimpse of Overhaul. He has to be out and about somewhere. I mean, the leader of the Shihazaikai needs to be doing certain things here and there, right? Let's just say they kind of, in a way, lucked out. Because during a patrol where Bakugo and Mirio were out and about, let's just say what happened was shocking. Overhaul showed his face, and not only that, he had a young child with him that was being tortured, hurt, used for experiments. But Mirio toned down the situation and allowed Overhaul to leave, in which this infuriated Bakugo. Bakugo said that they could have beat him right then and right there, but now they gave him a chance to leave, to go away. This isn't something that he signed up for. They needed to take him down then and there. But when they got back, of course, Night-Eye did say that was the best choice, was to let him go. They don't know what type of horrible things he would have done and what kind of carnage he would have brought to the area around them. But after Izuku hears this, he begins to use as much information as he can to find the base of the Shihazaikai, finding it far earlier than what Night-Eye could have done himself. Izuku is extremely intelligent, and so is Sir Night-Eye, but Izuku kind of is just raw talent. He finds the location, and they begin to have their meetings to find out exactly what they're going to do. Izuku wants to be on the task force to help them, to make sure that everything goes correct, but Sir Night-Eye is not so sure if that's the best choice of action. That Izuku could be on comms and give them something that they truly need, their eyes in the sky. But Izuku says that he's been training for this specifically. He's been working for this specifically. He knows he had his weaknesses in terms of combats because of certain quirks or certain things that would happen, and raw power would put him at a disadvantage, but that's a long time ago. He's far from that now. They need to let him be truly involved. In which eventually Sir Night-Eye agrees to this. A task force of Izuku, of Bakugo, Mirio, Nejire, Tamaki, and many other pro heroes would then get ready, and early morning would get set to invade the base of the Shihazaikai to find Overhaul. They get ready, and when they arrive at the base, they are immediately attacked by a giant monster a giant monster that looks like a giant man. And the rest of the heroes, while some of them stay outside and attack this giant man, will head inside. Izuku, Mirio, and Bakugo relatively stay together as they move throughout the area. Izuku being able to find the best pathways to get to exactly where Overhaul is. On top of that, Mirio is able to get ahead with his Quirk. With that done, and Izuku, Bakugo, and Mirio heading up, they're able to eventually find where Overhaul is, and eventually they're able to find it together. Together, they all run after Overhaul, and their insane fight would begin. Overhaul had a couple cronies here and there to help him out, but it was mainly just Overhaul. The reason for this was he was trying to escape. He was trying to escape with Eri, Mirio, Bakugo, and now Izuku. Now they have to make their choice. They need to get Eri out of there as soon as possible. One of them has to leave, and eventually it would be chosen that Bakugo takes Eri and goes away as quick as possible. At the end of the day, Bakugo is extremely fast, maybe even faster than Mirio, and Izuku can read the movements of, well, Overhaul relatively easily too. So they decide to stick together, and Mirio and also Izuku begin to work together. Mirio says that it's going to be difficult, that they don't know each other's patterns and fighting abilities exactly straight up to the T, but they should be able to figure something out. But Izuku tells him that that all he needs to do is fight exactly how he normally fights. That's it. He promises that he'll keep up, and on top of that, he'll make sure everything is in sync. Mirio is shocked to hear this, but it does make sense. Izuku's Quirk is built for this, is made for something just like this, so when they begin to fight Overhaul, all of their movements seem to be completely in sync. It seems like Overhaul doesn't or won't stand a chance at all. It's just an easy fight for them. They completely pick him apart, completely obliterate Overhaul. That's until Izuku looks into Overhaul's eyes and sees something that's about to happen. Izuku then turns to his side slightly to see someone else there as he reaches out his hands, and a bullet sound rings out. Mirio stands there in shock, in complete and utter shock, thinking the bullet missed. Oh my god. It must have backloaded. Something must have happened. What happened? That's not what happened. Actually, what happened was that Izuku just in time slowed down, well, time. And he stopped and moved the bullet and moved Mirio just out of the way, just enough. And the bullet went soaring to Overhaul, landing right on his leg and erasing his Quirk. Izuku shakes his head and taunts Overhaul, and even taunts the other guy, laughing at them, making fun of them, telling them that they failed and they just could not predict what was to come, and they could not predict how strong students would be. Students that aren't even full-fledged heroes yet. It's truly sad. Truly sad. Izuku knocks out Overhaul and then subdues the other person as well. And they cuff them up and get them ready to go. Bakugo blasts into the room to see that the fight is already over. He remarks that that's lame, that he wanted to fight too, but Mirio is shocked. Mirio is taken back by a large portion. Izuku was able to do this practically on his own, but in a way, it did help having Mirio here. It did help and give openings that Izuku wouldn't have had on his own. With that said, though, that doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things. We did save someone by the name of Sir Night-Eye, of course, and luckily more things will fall in place. Sir Night-Eye survives and doesn't die to overhaul. Mirio does not lose his quirk, but all that does matter is that Eri, the one that was experimented on, tortured, and so on and so forth, they are safe, or she is safe. They all head back to the agency, and victory is in sight. A flawless one at that. Something that they weren't really expecting in a way. They were all prepared to lose something, someone, or even themselves. That is something that needs to be basically registered in one's mind when you are fighting as a hero in this type of climate. Izuku continues to work with Sir Night-Eye and would continue to work with Sir Night-Eye for a while. Same thing with Bakugo. They would all work with Sir Night-Eye throughout this time, but then lead them to basically having their Class 1A versus Class 1B bit of training session. And this training session would be really, really simple. For one, Bakugo is far stronger. Far, far stronger. And on top of that, he's going to be able to blast through everyone there without hesitation. Izuku foresees everything. His team would easily win, and flawlessly at that. Izuku would see and foresee everything that is to come, stop everything, and even with Monoma copying his quirk, it wouldn't matter. Izuku's experience, Izuku's use of Aizawa's scarf, and the use of his metal bow staff that continues to get upgraded, well, is just too much. Way too much for everyone there. With that done, and with Class 1A winning the day, there's far greater and far more terrifying things ahead. Those things that are terrifying and those things that are ahead, well, those are known, or that is known as war. Japan will be under siege. All for One seeks his revenge and seeks to escape. And Shigaraki, the successor of All for One, wants to be the reason for it. They may have gotten away, and they may have been slowed down by Izuku, All Might, and many of their efforts, but it doesn't mean they'll stop. Villain society never stops. All Might may have lowered the rates of villains drastically, but nothing stands to a complete halt. And they realize that very, very quickly. From Endeavor's fight with the high-end Nomu, from the first conflict with a Nomu, all of that has led to war. And war is what Endeavor finds out from Hawks. Secretly, Hawks gives Endeavor a notice, and everyone else is put on notice as well, giving them about 2 months before the war and siege on Japan and the villains bring an army. They have 2 months to prepare the students, prepare the heroes, and get ready to stop all of this. Now, will they be able to stop it? That's a story for another day and another time. Like I said, once the anime is finished up with this season, I will definitely be going into the war arc. But I always say that the war arc is far different when you have certain scenarios like this. And sometimes the war arc doesn't even happen because of, well, strength disparity. But in this case, it definitely would. But this will be the end of the What If for now. And maybe, just maybe, I'll come back after season, I believe it's 6, is finished and done for the anime. But still, I decided this is where I'll end it. And I hope y'all enjoyed nonetheless. And I hope y'all enjoyed this series. And I hope y'all keep enjoying my videos. And I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.